Golden Blue Tube here with you. A while back, I did a star power video for the SEC West coaches because they added on Mike Leach and Lane Kiffin. So I've decided to expand that video and do all divisions of all the Power 5 conferences. The next conference up is the Big 12. They don't have any divisions, so I'm just going to do the entire conference. So what I like to do is I like to go from like least well-known to most well-known. So this star power ranking isn't ranked on coaching ability, it's ranked on name recognition and how well you would know the person if somebody were to just say his name, not coaching ability, okay? So first up, we have Texas Tech's Matt Wells. He was a previous head coach at Utah State from 2013 to 2018. He actually had some decent success there, but Utah State's not a well-known school. He takes over at Texas Tech in 2019. His overall coaching record is 48-42. It's not great, and he does earn $3.1 million a year at Texas Tech. Not a bad paycheck, but for Matt Wells, I give him 1 star. Not very well known. So next up on the list is Iowa State's Matt Campbell. A few years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, he was actually high on everybody's radar. I think Tennessee looked at him and a few other schools looked at him. So he's peaked on the radar a few times, but as far as overall name recognition, not that well known. He was the previous head coach at Toledo from 2012 to 2015. Had some decent success. Took over at Iowa State in 2016, and his overall coaching record is 62-40. He earns $3.5 million a year, and I gave him 1 star and a half. Next up is my team's head coach Neal Brown for West Virginia. And he was the previous head coach at Troy. He had some really good success at Troy. He took over a struggling program. First year went 4-8 and then had 3 straight 10-win seasons. He beat LSU at LSU. He beat Nebraska at Nebraska. And he almost went to Clemson and beat Clemson. They only lost by 6 points, I believe it was. Overall, though, his name isn't very well known yet. I think he'll do very well at West Virginia, so I think these stars will go up in the future. But for right now, sorry Mountaineer fans, 1 star and a half. Like I said, in the future, I think their stars will go up. Next up, we have Chris Klieman, the head coach at Kansas State. He took over this past year. He was the head coach of North Dakota State, a powerhouse FCS program. He won 4 FCS national championships there. Very good coach. And, I thought that would be rewarded with a higher caliber of coaching position, but not knocking Kansas State. But I'm thinking like USC or Tennessee or, a name like that. He got at Kansas State. His overall record is 62-11. His salary is $2.3 million a year. That's what I'm talking about. Personally, I think he should be earning more than that. And 8-5, that's not too bad for first year taking over Bill Snyder's regime. I think he'll do well at Kansas State, and I think he'll move up in the coaching rankings as well. But for right now, only 1 star and a half for him. Then we have the flavor of the week, and that is Dave Aranda. His star power is a little bit higher only because of LSU. He was the defensive coordinator for LSU. He didn't really impress me all that much. I thought it was LSU's offense that carried them, and then starting in the SEC championship game, then you saw the defense actually started doing pretty well. I didn't see that coming. He's been defensive coordinator all over the place, but this is his first year as a head coach, and he takes over at Baylor. No coaching record. First year head coach. $5.1 million a year. That's not bad at all. So we'll give him 3 stars simply because of the success at LSU. Next up on the star power list is Gary Patterson. And his name is getting more and more popular because he's sticking with one school and is having massive success. And the school is a small school. It is TCU. Personally, I'm surprised that a bigger school hasn't come and scooped him up, but so far he's remained loyal to TCU. 172 wins with 70 losses. He's been there since 2000. He earns $5.1 million a year. So Gary Patterson, his name is starting to be more and more recognizable because of the success, and he had TCU on the brink of the playoffs a few years ago, and there was a lot of controversy about that because of the old Ohio State thing, but I think it turned out well as far as that goes. But for Gary Patterson, he earns 3 stars because he stayed at the same school. He's had a lot of success. People know who he is by now. 3 stars for Gary Patterson. Next on the list, we have Mike Gundy. And yes, he's had a lot of success at Oklahoma State, but the crazy thing is, the thing that gets him the most stars on this list is his hair. He's known for the mullet. I don't think he'll ever cut that hair because that's what he's known for. So simply just because of that earned him more stars. He's been at Oklahoma State since 2005. I didn't know that. That's a long time. That's over a decade. His coaching record is 129-64. He earns $5 million a year, so he gets a nice paycheck for his loyalty. Mike Gundy earns 4 stars because of the success, the longevity, and of course his hair. So you can't forget about the mullet. Mike Gundy, 4 stars. Next up, we have Lincoln Riley. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, this isn't based on coaching ability, but having success does make your name more recognizable. So the next guy on this list is Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma. He's had 2 Heisman winning quarterbacks, 3 college football playoff appearances, which he hasn't won one yet, but he got there, and 3 Big 12 titles. He got to Oklahoma in 2017, replacing Bob Stoops, and they haven't missed a beat. Oklahoma looks better than ever. He is 36-6 as the head coach of Oklahoma. That is astounding, and he earns $6.5 million a year. Well deserved. He gets 4 stars, and you know, if he wins a national championship, he'll get more stars, but for right now, he's going to get 4 stars. Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma. Next on the list. This goes back to not based on coaching ability. Tom Herman at Texas. Now, he was the previous head coach at Houston from 2015 to 2016. He came to Texas in 2017, and his coaching record is 47-19. He earns $5.2 million a year at Texas. The thing that makes his name recognizable is he's very polarizing. He's very outspoken. He lets you know what he thinks right off the bat. And, of course, you have the Longhorn Network. So pretty much anybody that coaches at Texas is going to have instant name recognition. Tom Herman, because of his attitude, sometimes good, sometimes bad, and because he's the head coach at Texas, he gets 4 stars on my list. That leaves us with one more coach, Les Miles at Kansas. Who would have thought that a coach at Kansas would top the list of name recognition on my star power list? I don't know. I didn't see that one coming. I didn't see Les Miles going to Kansas either. So he takes over at Kansas in 2019. His overall coaching record is 145-64. And he earns a measly $2.76 million a year. I say measly. I'm saying that's compared to other schools, even compared to West Virginia. Les Miles was at LSU and making bukus of money. He was also the head coach at Oklahoma State from 2001 to 2004. And of course, like I mentioned, he was the head coach at LSU from 2005 to 2016. Won 1 national championship, like I said, that helps with star power, and 2 SEC championships. But it's not just his success. It's not just the national championship. He's the Mad Hatter. He would pull plays that no one would think of or be expecting. Fake punts, fake kicks, onside kick, you name it, he did it. The Mad Hatter. Les Miles earns 5 stars with me. He tops the list on my star-powered Big 12 head coaches. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed doing it. I love doing stuff like this. If you haven't already, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on my next video.